On YouTube, we have I Gregory C that says, "Hi, I'm Gregory. I have tracking your YouTube channel for a while. Those information are really useful. I am going to New Zealand with my girlfriend with working holiday visa. I will arrive in early April 2020, and I am planning to buy a campervan to live for a year. Do you think that is possible to live in a van for such a long period? Do you have any tips for us? Thank you so much, Gregory and Hani." All right, so Gregory and Hani, we actually have spent, we were supposed to spend a whole year in a campervan during New Zealand's biggest gap year, that you'll be able to see some videos on this channel. Laura and I did challenge ourselves to do 365 activities in New Zealand in 365 days. We call that, New Zealand's biggest gap year. So we did buy a big RV, a big campervan, and we started traveling around New Zealand. However, it kind of broke down after about 6 months. So we can give you our experience from the first 6 months. We do travel a lot with campervan all the while throughout the year, so we can give you a lot of tips, but we haven't experienced an entire year. We have experienced 6 months. The first tip that we can give you is obviously to buy a good quality campervan, something that's going to last the distance. I mean, ours broke down, and to be fair, ours was a money pit. We had so many issues. And if you watch New Zealand's biggest gap year, we go through all those issues.
Yeah, so obviously, you don't want to buy something that's too old, which is the mistake that we made. Bear in mind that you are buying something that you're going to be living in. So not only do you want the actual vehicle part of the campervan to be, mechanically sound and actually work really well, but you also want to think about all the appliances within your campervan as well. You want to make sure when you're actually going around and looking at campervans to actually make sure all the appliances in the campervan work, because that's often missed when you're doing a vehicle inspection. Usually you're just looking at, does it run well? Do you do test drives?
Can you hear the engine?
Yeah, can you hear the engine? Is the steering good? But really do make sure that all the appliances in the back work and you know how they work. And you need to go into more of a thorough inspection than what you would do on a normal car.
I think for purchasing the campervan as well, my first tip will be don't cheap out. Buy something which is big enough where you actually can live in. If you're looking at New Zealand's biggest gap year, we did buy quite a big campervan. It gave us a little bit of space to be able to move around, and it was much easier to do that for an extended period of time rather than actually staying in a small, more camper car.
Yeah.
And the other consideration as well is to get a self-contained campervan. This will give you so much more freedom around New Zealand. So self-contained and something quite big that you can actually kind of move around. Ours, it has a little kitchen, it had a shower, it had all those kind of things. So for the buying process, I think that's basically what we will give you. Don't be afraid to spend good money on your campervan. Usually you will get about your money back, or if you lose $1 or $2,000, it's still very cheap compared to either paying rent or even just buying something really crap and that you're never going to sell again, or even just renting a campervan. So you're still going to save a lot of money by doing that, even if when reselling it, you're not reselling it for the same amount of money that you bought it for. So that'd be the first thing. Now the second thing is about how to drive. Laura, did you enjoy driving the big RV that we got?
I absolutely did not. I think I only drove it probably one time. And it was, I'm not used to driving really big vehicles, so I found it really daunting to drive a massive campervan. Robin was, got used to it and stuff. But
I hated driving it as well.
Driving it. So even so, we from our experience, we would, if we were to do it again, we would definitely go for something that we enjoyed driving or was easy to drive, because also the roads in New Zealand aren't exactly, they're not that easy. There's a lot of winding roads. Most of the roads in New Zealand are very winding, sometimes quite narrow as well. So you need to think you need to be comfortable at sort of maneuvering your campervan around tight spaces and stuff like that. So but that's a very kind of personal thing. If you're used to driving something big and you're comfortable with it, you're going to definitely enjoy yourself. It's not something that we're used to, and it was very different. It was very different for us. So it's just a personal kind of stuff.
Also for driving, remember that New Zealand has slightly different driving rules than what you used to around the world. We covered that in many different videos here on this channel, or if you head to BackpackerGuide.NZ and then you just type road rules in the search bar. So it's www.backpackerguide.nz and then road rules in the search bar, and we have a very easy to read article that covers what are the different road rules, and also they drive on the wrong side of the road here in New Zealand. So here you go.
Oh, it's the right side of the road.
It's the wrong side. It's the wrong side. All right, kitchen and cooking. Okay, so the first thing I would like to point out for kitchen and cooking is that you've got to kind of do a bit of forward planning when planning to live in a campervan for a long time. Think about recipes which are super easy to do. Like, 3 steps only. You're gonna have the most limited amount of space and appliances ever. So it needs to be really flexible, but on the other hand, it needs to be really nutritious.
Yeah, so it's definitely very important to make sure that you have a very healthy diet when you're living in a camper van, because it is more of a confined space. You might be a little less comfortable than being back home. So, there might be times where you don't get as good a night's sleep and things like that. So, but even when you're changing your lifestyle in general, and definitely traveling around New Zealand in a camper van is a big change in lifestyle for most people, you do need to make sure that you stay healthy and on top of things. So definitely make sure you get a lot of fruit and vegetables in your diet. Pretty much a standard thing. But also bear in mind that you will sometimes be able to use cooking facilities in certain campsites and holiday parks. So bear that in mind when you're planning like what meals you're going to have and stuff. And you're going to be staying in a holiday park and stuff. Like I would take up the opportunity to use kitchen facilities in holiday parks and campsites as much as possible, because it usually is a good relief to get some space outside of your camper van to do those sort of things as well. And after a long period of time as well, after you do so much cooking in your camper van, certain kitchen smells hang about. So sometimes you want to have a bit of a break from that. But
that time when she burnt the garlic.
Don't do Don't do anything crazy like burning chili or garlic and stuff like that in your camper van, because that stuff will never, don't cook fish in your camper van because that will smell so bad. But a lot of campsites and holiday parks also have barbecues and stuff, which is pretty good to be able to cook outside. And that's actually one of the good things about traveling in a camper van and sort of getting that outdoorsy experience, and having barbecues is always a really, really fun thing.
Yeah, well, that's a perfect segue. The next step is holiday park and campsite. So you will have to stay in holiday park and campsite quite regularly, because your batteries are only going to last so long. You're going to need to be able to plug and recharge, meaning that about 1 out of every 3 to 4 nights you will have to kind of spend it in a holiday park or powered site. Usually it's called powered site. So you won't be able to get those things for free. So don't misunderstand the fact that you are going to be living in your camper van for a whole year and not pay anything. You will have to pay a fee to use the campsite and the facilities and the power and everything. But it's usually quite minimal. It's between $10 to $25 per night, so it's pretty good. You will also need to use them to be able to empty your grey water and black water, right? So black water are the thing from your toilet, and grey water is everything from the sink and the shower. You will also be able to refill your water, so your white water, you'll be able to get some fresh water in the camper van. So you'll have to use those facilities. Now maximize your time when you are in holiday parks or campsite. Take the time to use the facilities. Don't eat in your camper van, but go eat in the mess, in the kitchen or in the lounge. Use the lounge. Use whatever they have. Like some holiday parks are amazing. They have mini golfs and bouncing castle and swimming pools, and use all those things and take some time kind of out of the camper van and enjoy that. Maximize your time when you have the opportunity not to stay in your camper van for the night, and kind of just enjoy as many facilities as possible. Obviously, you sleep in your camper van, but just maximize that time. Anything else about holiday parks, campsites?
Not really,
okay.
But also maybe I'll just touch on freedom camping, which is going to be the opposite of staying in campsites and holiday parks. So freedom camping is basically where you can park up somewhere for free. But in New Zealand, there are very strict rules on that. And first of all, most of the time you need to have a certified self-contained vehicle, which we do have videos on on YouTube, if you just type self-contained New Zealand in YouTube search, you'll probably see our faces for a video, which explains what exactly a self-contained vehicle is. But when you are buying a vehicle, make sure that you look out for this blue sticker which says self-contained. And that allows you basically to be able to freedom camp in a lot of places around New Zealand. But again, there's lots of freedom camping sort of restrictions which are different between the different regions around New Zealand as well. So yeah, you need to basically look up what the restrictions are. And we do have articles on BackpackerGuide.NZ, which is basically links to all the different councils around New Zealand so that you can get up-to-date information of where you can actually camp for free in each region of New Zealand. So do bear that in mind as well. But like Robin said, you will probably only be able to do that for about 3 days before you need to go and charge your battery again, go back to a holiday park and empty all the waste and stuff. So you will probably be doing a little bit of both.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so next up is hygiene. So one of the issue that some people get with living in campervan for a long period of time is hygiene. Campervans are a bit harder to clean. You know, there's nooks and cracks everywhere. Usually you can't air them as much as you know, a house and everything. You can just open all the windows and everything. So the windows are usually really small. So make sure that you kind of have a plan with that. You clean it regularly, you air it regularly, and also you keep yourself in really good hygiene, because that's the thing, you know, you're going to be the thing that's going to create the most mess inside your campervan, right? It's you know, you're the living thing. So if you stink, your campervan is going to stink, all the bed sheets are going to stink, the bed is going to stink, everything you own is going to start stinking, and you know, then it can snowball into like bad health effect and everything like that. So hygiene is extremely important. It's something which is extremely overlooked because you're kind of roughing it, but the more you're roughing it, the more you actually need to be careful of those kind of things. So yeah, obviously, if you're staying in campsite and holiday parks, make sure to use the facilities as much as you can. Use their shower, use their this, you know, all those kind of things. And yeah, any other tips on the hygiene?
Not on hygiene, but more for the cleanliness of your campervan anyway. Campervans, like Robin said, it can get dirty pretty easily and such in a small space. Like even silly things like if you don't take off your shoes, you'll find that your campervan in an instant will just get covered in grass and dirt from outside, and it can get really dirty really quickly. That's definitely something that we found with when we were in a campervan for 6 months. So just like making sure that you stay on top of that. We actually bought a mini vacuum cleaner, which was really handy just to keep on top of those sort of things. When you first buy a campervan as well, you don't really know who has been sleeping in there.
It was the dirtiest thing we've seen,
so we definitely recommend like just giving your campervan like a one massive clean when you first get it, and then making sure you just stay on top of things while you're living in it. But another thing sort of connected to hygiene and cleanliness is organization. And in campervans, it's really useful to be well organized with things in your campervan. There's a lot of compartments everywhere, but if you don't organize it properly, there's often times where you forget where things are and stuff. And also you need to bear in mind about things moving around. So when you are organizing your campervan, it's quite useful to have certain boxes just to keep things together. And you can also get sort of these kitchen liners which have grip on them, so that, you know, if you've got like cutlery in your drawer and stuff, it's not all rolling around, and you've got plates, you make sure they're all stuck together and they're not like, you know, cracking each other and stuff. So make sure that you secure everything really well in your campervan and organize it in a way that you can actually find things. Yeah.
So use a lot of labels. Like we had a bunch of white labels and we just wrote it down with a marker and everywhere. And a good way to find all those boxes and liners and everything like that is all the Facebook groups where people are buying and selling campervans, or backpackers Facebook group. Everybody that finishes a trip usually will kind of sell those things, and a lot of them actually will leave them in the camper to sell it to you as well. So here you go. Now you mentioned that you're going to be traveling with your girlfriend Hani. So obviously it's going to be a bit of a test of your relationship, living in the smallest space ever, you know, for such a long time together. It's going to be testing a little bit your relationship. So you're going to need to think about, you know, kind of personal space and just, you know, make sure that you're not always just on top of each other. So, you know, it can just be, you know, kind of splitting the task. For example, when you go to holiday parks, you know, I remember that I usually like to go to the kitchen and make the food, in the big holiday park and do those kind of things. And Laura stayed behind and usually worked on BackpackerGuide.NZ or did those kind of things. So it's kind of like splitting the task. So you also have like an hour or two kind of apart, just so you kind of can gather your thought, and also you have something to talk about. If you do everything together, then what the hell is happening? So it's kind of important. Obviously, every relationship is different. And you guys may be super happy to be always on top of each other, but sometimes you just need to kind of pace things around and everything. It's a lot of fun. Honestly, I can't really recall any bad moments, but it's kind of like something that you just have to be mindful because literally, like every single time you turn around, you're gonna either see that person or literally touch that person because the space is that small. So you've got to keep that. You've got to keep that in mind. Do you have anything about that?
I don't think I have anything to add.
Okay.
Yeah, that won't get me into trouble.
Oh,
I'm joking.
And lastly, we have make the most of it. Like,
yeah,
traveling in New Zealand with the campervan will give you absolute freedom. You want to make the most of it. So make sure that you kind of are on the go as much as you can. We have seen a lot of people that end up living in a campervan and they stay 3 to 4 months in one place because they just got a job. Living in a campervan while staying in one spot is literally the most sad things I've seen in my life. It's just not. So just make sure you make the most of it. You travel around New Zealand, you explore everything that this amazing country has to offer. I know it's kind of obvious to say that, but I just really, really, really want to say that. If you take a job, like make it a maximum of a month and then drive again, like it's so important for you roughing it, get the perks of it. Don't just get, the everyday job and the really subpar quality of living. I mean, it's kind of like, this is not a trip. This sounds like awful. That sounds like hell. You're better off staying home and actually working an extra month at home with all your home comfort and save a little bit of extra money. And then instead of coming, I think you say you're coming in April, come in March, and then you have more money. And then it just makes more sense that way. Like, don't come here to have a van, park it, and just work. I honestly, that would be so sad.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Couldn't say anything else.
All right. Okay, cool. So if you did find this video useful, please hit the subscribe button. It's a great way to kind of reward us for all our hard work, especially also still likes. They're really, really cool. If you do have any of your question of your own and you want us to address it in the comment of the video right away, or if you're watching that live, go on the live chat, guys.